Some problems don't get solved so easily. Occasionally, this is because the problem is very complex or very large. More often, though, the failure to solve the problem stems from a flawed approach. When you see a problem that refuses to go away, you're likely to see the following approaches to it: focus on symptoms, rush to judgment, no examination of the underlying process, blame and suspicion taking the place of teamwork. These are all traps that must be avoided at all costs if we're truly aiming for effective problem solving. The single biggest reason that problems never get solved is a focus on symptoms. Focusing on symptoms guarantees poor problem solving, frustration, and discouragement. Let's make sure we understand the difference between symptoms and causes. Symptoms are the indicators that we have a problem. They tell us something is wrong. A symptom is not the reason we have a problem, but it's usually the first sign that alerts us. Causes, on the other hand, are the actions or inactions that result in our problem. The causes usually exist below the surface of the problem. While symptoms are immediately obvious, the causes are not. They require probing and investigation. When we act on a cause, we get improvement. When we act on a symptom, we get a band-aid that might make us feel better temporarily, but which will do nothing to prevent the problem from coming back. If we look back at our tripping incident, the symptoms are quite different from the causes. The symptoms tell us that we have a problem, but provide no guidance about why we have the problem. Our symptoms are a bump on the head and anger over someone leaving tools on the floor. If we fall into the trap of acting only on the symptoms, we will just be masking the true problem. In this case, acting on the symptoms equates to putting ice on the bumped head and screaming at the responsible party. Ice will be an effective short-term action to deal with the injury, but screaming at people isn't even a good short-term action, and neither will prevent the problem from returning. Yet the tendency of most people is to act on the symptoms and go no further. It should be clear by now that symptoms and causes are two totally different things, occupying opposite ends of the problem-solving continuum. Your job as a problem solver is to understand and acknowledge the symptoms, maybe even act on them when their effects warrant it, but quickly begin setting the stage for a full identification of the causes. We'll learn in a later module that the best technique for identifying causes is to first understand the underlying process. The bottom line is this: if you haven't changed your process, you haven't really taken corrective action. Changing the process means improving our methods, establishing new controls, developing our people, communicating important information, or any number of things. The only thing it always means is going beyond the symptoms.